April 24th, 2020. A new YouTube channel was created by a 14-year-old kid intended to revive his love for making YouTube content, but it would take until June for any actual content to be posted onto the channel. On June 14th, this kid would upload his channel trailer, and while seemingly unremarkable, this video from a channel with 0 subscribers would hold a dark secret. In the video would contain a link, and upon typing that link into a search bar, it would take you to a video unlisted from the channel named Don't Forget Me.mp4. While this may seem like the start of an intentional ARG, and the video pretty much only seemed like a beginning, the whole plotline would go dormant until October. A video was uploaded onto the channel that the creator claimed was not uploaded by him, and was a lost episode of an old gaming video that he had on his files, edited together with a bizarre and terrifying image, tying back to the original Don't Forget Me.mp4 video. This video had a separate video named SEIL EH.avi or HEWILLWATCH.WEBM attached in the description, and this would continue on for months and months, with this small creator with no voice being powerless to stop the unexplainable and inconsistent hack that had taken over his channel. Since the start of the 2020s, there have been two types of horror that have gotten the most amount of attention online. While horror ARGs and analog horror definitely didn't start in this decade, it definitely began to become mainstream. And while they aren't inherently linked, there definitely is a lot of overlap between the two, especially recently. Marble Hornets, Local 58, and Petscop all laid the groundwork for future works in both genres, including The Walton Files, Gemini Home Entertainment, and love it or hate it, the Mandela Catalog. These series would then go on to inspire many more to this day. The effects of analog horror online aren't to be sniffed at either. I mean, Kane Parsons went from making Backrooms analog horror videos to directing one of the biggest horror movies of the entire year. Safe to say, even as big as the entire genre has become, and sure, you can definitely say it became overdone, but the style will just continue to go on and reinvent itself, for better or worse. Now, when it comes to bad horror, what comes to your mind? Given the series I had mentioned earlier, maybe Urban Spook's The Painter series would jump out first, or maybe some really bad anti-piracy screen trend. But for my money, nothing really takes the cake for worst ARG/analog horror series except for the redacted name ARG, which ARG there is in really big quotations. This is an ARG made by, you guessed it, myself back in 2020, and it went on until 2022. And calling it an ARG or analog horror for that matter is a bit of a stretch. Truthfully, this series falls under neither, but takes the biggest pitfalls and failures of each and combines it into one. As for the ARG part, it's really just watch a random video, then check the description for a link to an unlisted video. As for analog horror, the series presents itself as unseen videos haunted by some narrative, but resorts to cheap scares with little to no build-up that, at most, just comes across as a tiny bit uneasy. Like, there is no build-up, no story. It's just a 20-second video of an image with distorted audio and then, like, a sentence to digest, and that's, like, it. Truthfully, there really is no connection to either genre mentioned earlier outside of name and inspiration, respectively. Now, I wanted to originally cover this ARG back in 2024 for my 9-year anniversary, but ended up running out of time, so I didn't. And then when 2025 came around, I really wanted to focus on a big celebration for being my 10-year anniversary. So now, in 2026, with it being my 11-year anniversary of beginning YouTube, I would like to fully descend into the world I created, exploring how this Shadow Freddy PNG was supposed to instill fear, the rapidly changing lore, and the story of the ARG, the necessary mountain of context, and most importantly, how this somehow connects to me being transgender. It's going to be a wild ride, so please stick around, and as always, thank you for watching. The ARG officially kicked off on June 14th, 2020 with the release of The Real Herobine's channel trailer. Yes, that was my original channel name. From 2015, when I first made a YouTube video, up until this ARG's finale, I used the nickname Herobine Mobs as my online username. Yes, the second R in Herobine was purposely gone because I made a typo and decided to keep it. As such, to differentiate from my old channel and my new one, I originally named this channel The Real Herobine. And as the title of this first video would suggest, this was my 40-second channel trailer I made to advertise myself to the world. It opens up with my squealy, cracking voice saying,
"Have you ever been depressed? Do you feel like what you watch doesn't give you the funnies?"
God, I already want to quit this video. Make it end! Really, the only thing of note here, besides my terrible attempts at quote-unquote humor, is this part. I say, this channel will 100% make you laugh, like this clip, before I show a clip from my video Sonic's Rest Day, where Funtime Foxy reveals that they are a guy to Sonic, and he screams, "What?" in shock. Wow, a transgender joke is my selling point? I sure bet that specific topic won't come up again in the future. But what's interesting about this video is that during this scene, I include as text on screen a YouTube video link. I also put the link in the description of the video claiming it to be the real channel trailer, so like, wow, really letting people use their imagination on that one. Well, I'll just spoil it now, but this is going to be a major recurring theme with these videos. Completely normal video, one slight abnormal moment, bam, unlisted video in the description. So let's dive into the starting point of everything with the first unlisted video, Don't Forget Me.mp4. Don't Forget Me.mp4 is a 1-minute long video uploaded on June 14th, 2020, the same day as my channel trailer. The audio for this video is just the FNAF 1 menu ambience with no discernible changes. The video, over the course of 1 minute, features just the words "Don't Forget Me" on screen. Over time, a PNG of Shadow Freddy from FNAF 2 slowly fades into screen, and that's the entire video. In the comments section of the video lies 5 comments from an account called Redacted Name. The comments are as follows. Don't forget me, don't forget me, don't forget me, don't forget me, me, forget, don't, don't forget me backwards. The next comment is, don't listen to him, he tells lies. Then, don't forget me, don't listen to him. The 4th comment is just spamming the words "Don't Forget Me" over and over. And finally, 6, 15, 12, 12, 15, 23, 13, 5. The final one, the number code, when translated, just simply says "Follow me." Now, to literally anyone, these comments don't mean jack shit. All we know is that a he is a liar, and we shouldn't forget the person making this video, which, presuming from the account that's commented, profile picture is Shadow Freddy. Now you may be wondering, why in the hell is Shadow Freddy used in this ARG? Is it because this ties back in some way to FNAF? No, not really. Is it because of the idea of a ghastly leader leading people to their doom, like how he did in FNAF 2 with the animatronics? No, at least that's explored in the ARG. The real reason why is actually because of the original and first idea I had for the ARG, but I'll get to that in a little bit. For now, however, the simple reason is because back on my original channel in 2016, I had gotten a Shadow Freddy plush, so I thought it would be a cool idea to hide Shadow Freddy in the background of my videos to see if anyone could find him. He was supposed to be nothing more than an Easter egg, but he was forgotten about and no longer used after about 5 or so videos. So when I was making Don't Forget Me.mp4, I literally just thought of Shadow Freddy and threw him in there for that reason alone. Gee, I sure hope this impulsive decision making doesn't come back to bite me in the ass later. As for Don't Forget Me.mp4, I think the concept is fine. If the audio was silent or different, maybe more quiet and distorted, then it could be a bit unnerving, especially if Shadow Freddy had never faded in, just a black screen with the text "Don't Forget Me" and quiet muffled audio could have been somewhat okay for building up dread. But by the time any dread is built up, you just see a goofy-ass Shadow Freddy fade in on screen and all the seriousness just fades away like that. Now, moving on to the next video, we have the start of the first and original plotline for the redacted name ARG, that being HBM Short Funtime Foxy's Mysterious Package, uploaded on June 23rd, 2020. This is only my 3rd ever plush skit back, and is actually the first time I did proper video editing in any of these videos. And this is where the last shred of a continuous story dies in this ARG. Yes, the plotline loses all cohesion in the 3rd video out of 25! See, the main plot rundown for this 5-minute skit is as follows. Funtime Foxy gets a late-night package in the mail and won't show Chef Kirby. Funtime Foxy is shown to talk to a mysterious voice from within the package and hides it. Chef Kirby asks to see the package and eventually sneaks out to find it when Funtime Foxy is asleep. Upon finding the package, the contents of it are missing, and as Chef Kirby rants about how annoying it's going to be to find it, Lefty sneaks up behind him, whispers, "Shh, go to sleep," turns off his flashlight, bam, Lefty, you see in jump scare green screen effect. Funtime Foxy wakes up and goes to look for Chef Kirby, and the video abruptly ends. This abrupt ending is actually where the original plotline for the ARG dies and has to be rewritten later on. See, originally the final scene was going to be of Funtime Foxy and Lefty talking, with Lefty mentioning that Funtime Foxy was quote-unquote failing their mission, and it was going to be an ominous cliffhanger thing. Now, as a standalone video, I actually like the ambiguous "did Chef Kirby die" ending a lot more. It feels more open-ended and sets up nicely for the ARG to continue. But what was the original plot line, you're probably asking right now? Well, you see, I'll tell you. It was kind of stupid, but at the very least coherent. See, originally the plot line was that in this universe, all the plushies are sentient and acting as if this is a live-action sitcom or something. Shadow Freddy, having been forgotten since 2017, got angry for that and began to plot his revenge. As such, he began to sneak things into videos to exert his control, such as Funtime Foxy, which was his original puppet, and later Lefty, his current puppet. Funtime Foxy broke away after being accepted by Sonic and Chef Kirby, hence why Chef Kirby's assistant isn't a part of the ARG. Lefty was sent in to finish the job Funtime Foxy refused to do, and as such is going around causing the death of all the main cast members. Each death will erase their mind and make them subservient and unknowledgeable about Shadow Freddy's plan, unable to stop him. This would culminate in a battle where Shadow Freddy, under the alias redacted name, would hack my channel and attack me, trying to corrupt and erase me, using me as a puppet to exert his control over the entire channel, making sure he will never be forgotten again. This would have ended in a big special where the plushies break free and save me and everything returns to normal, but by the virtue of scrapping the original ending to this video, the plan went out the window. That and my unintentional slow burn approach led to me rewriting the plot about 50 times by the time the next video would happen. Also, this plot was just too meta. Like, this is a very meta ARG already, don't get me wrong, but I was originally planning whole origin story videos with the plushies behind the scenes and stuff, and I just feel like it would blur the line too much between what was a behind the scenes, like, skit video and what was an actual plush video if they were actors. Like, also, this plot just only works for maybe an hour, hour and a half special movie, not really a whole ARG series that would span almost a year. Granted, the original finale was supposed to be for Halloween, but as you'll see, there are a lot of unintentional long gaps that would lead to this ARG taking almost 3 times as long as it was intended. As for the video itself, though, Funtime Foxy's mysterious package is an okay, if boring, plush skit. The only real thing it has going for it, besides for its connection to the redacted name ARG, is the historical significance of this being the first ever plush skit I edited with a video editing software. Besides that, this video is easily skippable. Now, we jump ahead a little bit, and this has a very specific reason for that. This next video takes place chronologically in the timeline of the ARG after Funtime Foxy's mysterious package, but IRL, it was uploaded on January 7th, 2021. Mind you, the next IRL chronological video was uploaded in October of 2020, so we're going to be jumping around a little bit with some of these dates as I remember to follow the ARG's canonical timeline. The next video is uploaded on Redacted Name's channel itself and is named Gone Gone Chef Kirby. The Gone Gone series of videos come after each time a main plush video character dies for the first time to Redacted Name's influence. As such, over time, you see this image of the distorted characters fill up with all 4 of them. Each video is simple. The image of the distorted plush fades in as reversed audio plays. So this video confirms that Chef Kirby did in fact die to Lefty at the end of Funtime Foxy's mysterious package. All that we see here is a black and white photo of Chef Kirby with a single bloody tear coming from his eye. The reversed audio is either Redacted Name laughing or exhaling really loudly. Some of these audios are hard to tell due to the effect on his voice. The whole video is only 3 seconds, so I really don't have much to work off of here. The description for this video and all of the future Gone Gone videos is simply the word find 4 times, each with a different link, and then a hashtag which spells out a different word each time. For Gone Gone Chef Kirby, we have hashtag Herobine mobs. The links simply lead to don'tforgetme.mp4. The other 2 2 file extension videos we'll talk about soon, and the video relating to the plush character's death, so in this video, it links back to Funtime Foxy's mysterious package. But you may be wondering something, and yes, dear viewer, I know you noticed this because I know you are super observant and smart and are paying 125% attention to this video at all times. The profile picture on the account that uploaded Gone Gone Chef Kirby is different from the one that commented back on Don't Forget Me.mp4. And wait, this account has an underscore between the words redacted and name, while the others didn't. So, let's let the cat out of the bag here. I lost the login to the original redacted name ARG YouTube channel. I'm not kidding. This really doesn't affect the ARG at all, I just kind of act like it didn't happen, and besides for an off-the-cuff joke and who is redacted name and why is he targeting me, which we'll talk about later, this is like never mentioned anywhere again. I don't know, I just think that's kind of funny. The next video we have up is Lost Episode, with the title being put through a scary font option where it corrupts the text and stuff. This video is kind of funny to me. This is uploaded on October 14th, 2020. Now, I already dislike my old humor, like, a lot. Granted, I think the 2020 era humor at least has the quirky little kid charm to it compared to the sex joke obsessed gooner humor I had developed in 2021. But I still just do not like the attempts at humor back then. Now, this video is a lost episode of back when in 2018 I tried to make a comeback to YouTube by recording a playthrough of Academia's School Simulator. So if I dislike my humor from when I was 14 during the COVID-19 lockdown, how do you think I'll enjoy an edited video of my 12-year-old humor in 2018, edited down by a 14-year-old me? This video is horrible to watch, but thankfully it has the most explicit and out there redacted name section that actually does something other than just a link for once. Like, it still doesn't link in the description, but redacted name actually feels like a character here for the first time in the entirety of the ARG. After almost exactly 10 minutes of the least funny, least interesting, prepubescent HeyyItsKris gameplay you'll ever see in your entire life, as soon as I do my outro, the video hard cuts to redacted name's corruption. The outro is replaced by a distorted barrage of random clips from the video, but also random other videos of my own. Distorted to hell and back, reverse, sped up to no belief. Text flashing on screen, images of Shadow Freddy flashing on screen, the works. Dear God, this text scroll at the beginning of the hack is the cringiest shit ever. First of all, I forgot a title text in the middle of it. Second of all, most of it is just fun fact, he lies, copy and paste it over and over. Third, and finally of all, death, torment, hell, pain, suffering is all turned into a single word that I think would kill someone if they touched it due to the edginess of it. All throughout this, the following monologue from Shadow Freddy is being said in the first spoken words of his in the entire ARG. Don't ask questions that you are too afraid to know the answer to. Don't believe everything you see at face value. He will always lie to you. The entire corruption ends with Don't Forget Me.mp4 playing over the video and audio while Shadow Freddy laughs over himself. Before he then says run, he screams at the camera and the video ends with the YouTube "There is something wrong with this video" image, with Shadow Freddy's face occasionally flashing for a few frames. Now, this is going to be a hot take here, probably, but I think the video could be salvaged. I don't know. I think the actual edited old footage concept could be scrapped entirely, and all the dialogue and writing for the corruption part is really cliche and edgy. I don't hate the idea. It's basic and cliche, sure, but it actually gives us something to digest, gives us a definitive face to represent who the villain is, gives him some more power with the fact that this lost episode was never in-universe edited by or uploaded by me and I have zero memory of it, and at least attempts, even if completely awfully, something horror-related. Sure, there isn't really any build-up, but it comes out of nowhere, is loud, gets you on the edge of your seat, and then does a bad jump scare. It's the closest to horror that we've actually gotten so far that isn't just that slightly unsettling. I definitely think that this would need a lot more drafting and hard work to pull off, but I don't exactly hate this concept, especially because this whole thing was cobbled together into the ARG last second. I just threw this in here because I wanted to do something with the ARG and hoped I would get more attention on it by doing this, and as a publicity and stunt intended to revive the ARG in my mind, it actually kind of worked. I began thinking out the Gone videos and also the basic plot connecting it so far. Granted, a lot of it is still impulse, but I do think that out of all the redacted name shenanigans so far, this one is the best. Although we still do have a link in the description to check out. In the description of Lost Episode lies the next file extension video, SEIL EH.avi, or HeYITSKris, but backwards. This is a 23-second long clip with the FNAF 1 circus ambience playing sped up and in reverse, while a two-toned image of my old profile picture rests on screen. The text "He lies" also is on screen. The description says, "Don't believe everything you see at face value, but backwards." This video is probably the least memorable or interesting of the file extension videos. It's just repeating everything we heard from Lost Episode, but adding nothing new to the puzzle. The only thing interesting is that the original title and description of the video were not reversed at first, but because this was uploaded in October 2020, you know, roughly a month before the 2020 presidential election and during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, uploading a video named "He Lies" kinda was gonna be a problem, and a problem it was because YouTube actually gave me a strike until I reversed the title and description of the video. I think that the video, again, could work. The audio is kind of unsettling and does its job well, but again, I think the general presentation surrounding everything else just kind of makes it lose impact. Sonic's House of Terror Remake is the next video in the plush video section of the ARG we will be discussing. Released on October 28th, 2020, this served as the plush Halloween special, so you bet I went all out for this. Although the video does retain the same general theme that Funtime Foxy's mysterious package did, at least in regards to the ARG. The plot goes as follows. Bowser Jr. wants to go trick-or-treating, but forgets that he is banned from doing it this year because of an event that happened in a previous episode, the Halloween costume, where Jr. sent Donkey Kong to beat up Sonic for not buying him a Halloween costume. So Sonic, Jr., Kirby, and Foxy all sit around the fireplace and tell scary stories. This is essentially just my version of an episode of The Simpsons Treehouse of Horrors. SpongeBob and Jr.'s friend Yoshi show up and trauma dump instead of telling a scary story. Sonic checks out the door for trick-or-treaters and finds a PNG of Azrael and Toriel from Undertale at the door, and they argue over getting candy. Yeah, this video is just kind of weird. Eventually, Funtime Foxy tells their scary story, which is just a plot recap of Funtime Foxy's mysterious package, which no one believes is a true story due to Kirby still being alive. Later that night, Sonic is sleeping in bed when Lefty appears beside him. The video cuts to black before it plays a fake outro where Lefty jump scares the viewers, says, "Shh, go to sleep," and then the real outro plays. So the only revelation that we have here is that not only does Funtime Foxy remember Chef Kirby's death, but that Chef Kirby doesn't remember his death, which lines up really well with the previously mentioned scrapped plot from Funtime Foxy's mysterious package. Now, what does this mean for the overall plot? Essentially, what I did here was I never really formally scrapped the plot in the first place. The idea of the plush videos being haunted by a puppet under his control, Lefty, sent to kill the main plushies and corrupt them, is still there. That is still, for the most part, the ARG's relevance to the plush videos. But the issue is the original plot was very meta and also pretty much plus video centric. Like, stuff like Lost Episode just kind of happened because I felt like connecting it to the ARG, and this is where the issue really came in, because I was essentially in two different headspaces when writing the ARG out. So you have these two plot lines that sure do work together in the grand scheme of the ARG, but are also conflicting in importance to each other. You have what seems like a spooky but still silly plush video arc going on the same time as whole videos getting corrupted and mysterious files getting uploaded to the channel that I have in universe no memory of uploading. The stakes and tone of each plot line doesn't really match. The plush video plotline with Lefty feels more like a secondary background plot, yet gets most of the attention out of the ARG. Meanwhile, the more serious channel hijacking plotline is more hidden and secret and less thought out, and yet it feels like it doesn't get any attention. And this goes on throughout the entire first part of this ARG. The first 18 out of 25 videos in this ARG all go through this exact same thing, so we're not even halfway through this kind of slog of a first part. But as for Sonic's House of Terror Remake, it is a video that had an easy home run concept that I just did literally nothing with, and this video is the equivalent of a straight up nothing burger. But because a character died, I think we should go check out the Redacted Name channel next to see what the next clues are. Released on the same day as Gone Gone Chef Kirby, but taking place chronologically after Sonic's House of Terror Remake, we have Gone Gone Sonic. This one is very similar to Gone Gone Chef KIRBY, the only difference being the audio length and now the fact that Sonic is in the image. Sonic is solid black and white with dark red irises. This video is 33 seconds long and contains a 16.5 second reverse loop of redacted names saying, "Find me, find me," over and over. In the description-wise, nothing is new besides for the fourth find linking back to Sonic's House of Terror, and the hashtag now reading #is. So far, in terms of clues from the Gone Gone series of videos, all we have is the phrase Herobine mobs is, with nothing else. So far, this ARG just feels like an endless breadcrumb trail. While sure, the crumbs are getting bigger as we go along, we aren't really going anywhere that isn't in circles yet. Most of this ARG is just cryptic filler because when I tried to be more plot heavy, I wound up with the unserious lost episode scene, but when I try to be cryptic, I end up repeating the same points over and over again. I'm honestly kind of glad I had only around 15 subscribers when this whole ARG was going on, because if I did have an actual big fan base, they'd probably be really frustrated with the same shit over and over again, like how you and I are now. But at least we have the luxury of skipping to certain videos and or binging the whole thing in one sitting, not sitting there for months and months just to get the same regurgitated point over and over and over again. The best of Herobine mobs in 2020 was my best of compilation video that premiered at midnight on New Year's Day, a tradition that I happily keep up every year since I think the best of videos are some of the most fun for me to make. However, this first iteration definitely went through its growing pains. My main issue with this version of it is that I show all the clips out of order with no thumbnail showing you what the video the clip is from, and I have music going on during it so it overlaps with the existing video audio. All this to say, this is a video in the best of series that I just haven't ever gone back to. Now you may be wondering, what does this video add to the ARG? Nothing. Not even in a it just repeats things way, but literally in a nothing relating to the ARG happens in the entire video way. It doesn't even include any of the ARG moments, not even the one from Lost Episode in it. But this actually kind of works because we get 2 extra links in the video description. One named "You Will Never Get Rid of Me," all is one word, which links back to Redacted Names channel, and one that is named "You Forgot Me" as one word, which links to our next file extension video. So while it isn't anything crazy big, there actually does seem to be a new development. This feels direct with the wording, feel like we're actually seeing Redacted Name not address himself or the audience, but another character by using the word "you." So even if it isn't much development, I'm grasping at absolute straws right now for interesting things to talk about, man. The penultimate of the file extension videos, this is a 32-second video upload on January 6, 2021. Yes, 5 days after the best of came out, because I forgot to upload it. This one is simple. It's a frame of my face cam that has been two-toned to hell and back with only red and black as the colors. In the darkness is a two-toned image of Shadow Freddy within my head. The text "He Will Watch" is plastered all over the bottom of the screen. The audio is the trophy gallery from Super Smash Bros. Brawl with really slowed down Freddy laughing from FNAF 1. The description just copy and paste "He Will Watch" over and over and over again. So, at least it's a different phrase. I don't know, this is probably the creepiest part of the whole ARG to me. Something about the image of this 14-year-old nobody having his image edited to nothingness and the darkness to be filled with the silhouette of something that is trying to harm him, it's disturbing. More so than anything in the ARG has so far. If the ARG tapped more into the horror of being an unsupervised minor online, I really do think that there could have been something here, and this image proves that. But alas, that is not the direction I went for. And the only thing left to talk about with the video is the description, where it contains the hashtags Herobine mobs is a, which adds a new answer to the hashtag puzzle. I was a what? What was I? Well, into 2021, so far all we know about the ARG is that I am something. I forgot about Shadow Freddy. Lefty is killing the plushies. We have to find Shadow Freddy, and I will watch these videos, and I also lie. A lot of statements, but really no answers. Is this a prophecy? Are these accusations? If you were following along, you wouldn't know. All you would know is that Shadow Freddy is saying this to presumably me. Now, while we will eventually finally start getting answers very soon, we have just a few more videos to get through, I promise you all. I know viewer retention during this section is probably at like an all-time low, but it's going to start being interesting again, I promise. At least in my opinion, because it's going to start being so bad it's good, but yeah. The next video we have up is HBM short Bowser Jr.'s Tricycle. Well, at least you have the privilege of this being a short video. Uploaded on March 19th, 2021, this is a video that was originally not part of the ARG. It wasn't until later that I actually had to retroactively put this in here. Yes, that is because there is no video where Lefty kills Bowser Jr. Lefty kills Chef KIRBY, Sonic, and spoilers for the next plush video, Funtime Foxy, but Lefty never touched Bowser Jr. The only reason I retroactively put this video in the ARG is because in this video, Bowser Jr. does die. He gets ran over in the street by a red car, which I just later implied was driven by Lefty, or even was Lefty, as he shape-shifted into a car. But yeah, Bowser Jr. dies here, so that's why I put it in the ARG. So honestly, for this video's sake, I'm gonna just skip this plot. There's nothing important here to discuss. Let's just go to the next Gone Gone video. Gone Gone Bowser Jr. is the next video in the Gone Gone series and was uploaded June 7th, 2021, but takes place chronologically after Bowser Jr.'s Tricycle in March. This video is 9 seconds long, adds a blurry black and white Bowser Jr. disembodied head to the image, and features the phrase, "He will watch, he will know of the suffering he caused me," reversed. Again, just like before, even if these are technically new phrases, they aren't saying anything new. They don't add any seasoning to this unbaked chicken shit pie of a puzzle. Also, the hashtag for this video is #A, so all we have for the Gone Gone hashtag puzzle so far is the same exact thing we saw on HEWILLWATCH.WEBM. Great. Sonic's Date is the next plush video, and thankfully the penultimate one in the ARG, uploaded on April 11th of 2021. This video for a while was actually my favorite plush video I had ever made. I really enjoyed this video, and I definitely still feel like this video has a lot of good moments and earns its 16-minute runtime by actually moving a plot forward and having stuff go on. The only reason I don't really fuck with this video anymore is because Layla, the main antagonist of the video, Sonic's ex, is essentially a stereotypical sassy black chick. I was 14, and while I didn't really get into the whole full stereotype, I'm still very uncomfortable with the fact I did the black woman voice as a part of Layla's defining character trait, and with her being antagonistic and bitchy, yeah, I just don't really like this video. Black women are amazing and pretty and awesome, and I really do not condone anything that I had said or done in my past like this. Thankfully, Layla was killed off by Lefty in this video, so she's a one-off character, and she's gonna stay that way forever. What does this have to do with the ARG plot, though? Nothing at all. Because the plot is, Sonic is having a date with Amy. Layla shows up to crash it, Sonic locks Layla in the laundry room, Lefty kills her. Funtime Foxy goes exploring to find her, Lefty kills Funtime Foxy, and the video ends with a date. To be concluded July 31st, 2021. I got the date of my own fucking anniversary special wrong. My anniversary is on July 28th, not July 31st. But I mean, hey, it's new information. We can't hate that. Even if it's just a date for right now, it's at least better than repeating the same shit over and over and over and over again. So even if this video hasn't aged well at all, and I dislike a major part of it, at the very least, it feels like for once the video plotline and the ARG plotline do kind of matter and naturally mix with Layla being taken out by the main plush villain of Lefty. So I at least have to commend those parts of the video. But finally, we get to our penultimate Gone Gone video. This is Gone Gone Funtime Foxy. Gone Gone Funtime Foxy, uploaded on June 7th, 2021, but takes place after Sonic's Date in April. This is the longest Gone Gone video to date, sitting at 1 minute and 55 seconds. This video is the exposition dump by Redacted Name himself. Now, I'm gonna be honest, the vocal effects on his voice make it quite hard to make out what he's saying, especially when he starts yelling, but I'll try my best. The video begins by adding Funtime Foxy to the main picture, face all swirled up into one single red eye. The audio is fully reversed, but goes as follows. I was abandoned, left to rot, just left there to die. but I managed to break free from my banished state, and now Herobine will be the one that I will be holding in my grasp. And soon yours will become mine. I won't be. I will be the one, and he will become redacted. Laughing, a deep breath. He will beg to me. He will feel better to rot and suffer. But look where it got him. It got him here. And now I know you're rotting and suffering. I'm not really sure on that one. But I always come back. I always do. Because I always come back. He will watch, and I will make sure you never forget. You never forget me. Never forget me. I'll never leave. Herobine, I know you're watching. I know you're listening. I know you're trying to decipher this right now, but it's too late because I'll already be behind you. And you'll remember. Laughs. So that was Redacted Name's big soliloquy. What a bunch of edgy bullshit. He doesn't really say anything besides just threats towards me, and if he does, then I can't tell because the echo effect is so bad that it just becomes headache-inducing to listen to. But to the video's credit, this is the most explicit and out there video in the entire ARG so far, so I can't really hate this video when the other ones give us literally nothing to chew on. The other main important thing with this video is that the hashtag puzzle is now complete. In the description, it reads #liar. The full sentence is Herobine Mobs is a liar. This confirms that I was the one the He Will Watch and He Lies claims were against. So along with all the threats, this paints Redacted Name out as someone or something out to harm me, to make me rot and suffer, someone who I banished and they will come back and redact me like how they believe that they have been redacted. Hence the name of the character and the ARG itself, the Redacted Name ARG. And thankfully, we're out of the slog. Finally! Up next, we have literally my favorite video in the entire series. Who is Redacted Name and why is he targeting me is the next video. Uploaded on June 17th, 2021, this is where I actually properly ever acknowledged the ARG for the first time. Even if it wasn't in-character version of acknowledging it, it essentially acts as well an explanation for everything in the ARG. And by that I mean, I literally go video by video, step by step, and piece together the mystery in front of your eyes. This is the first ever ARG where the creator just does everything for you and you have to watch it because it is a part of the ARG storyline proper. Essentially what happens in this video is my goofy ass stupid face shows up and I'm like, hey, look at my channel. The Redacted Name channel is added to my other channel section, which I think is funny looking back because there are people in that section that I don't talk to anymore, so I think Redacted Name is actually the part that aged the least badly. But regardless, I go through the ARG and explain that every time I try to remove the channel or any of the videos, suspicious things would happen that would prevent me from doing so, such as my power going out, my Wi-Fi dying, YouTube support being YouTube support and not doing their job, the usual suspects. Also, I just need to say that the voice cracks I have in this video are legendary.
But what I soon realized was that this hacker...
Also, during this video, I often put down the ARG and call out how bad it is. So like in the ARG itself, I'm saying the ARG isn't scary and also call the main villain stupid for losing the password to his own channel. I told you I would bring that up later. Incredible thinking there, past me. You're really selling this well. Also, I mentioned Lefty in here, and I do think there is something kind of cool with what I do, where I explain that Lefty is just a character I throw in to be spooky and nothing more. But we know that Lefty is a puppet of Redacted Name, so it really kind of makes you wonder, how much does Redacted Name have control over me, not just my channel? Because he's been able to edit together videos on my own computer and upload them to my channel and bring in this plush character which I unknowingly lie about and his purpose. So I did end up becoming a liar. Now, none of that was genuinely intended at all. I'm being so serious. I'm just retroactively dragging the strings to spots where they should be fitting, but I'm being honest when I say that the whole me accidentally lying about Lefty thing and the prophecy and all that is Literally me just trying to coherently connect the dots now. The video goes on until I begin ranting, and I give probably the biggest cultural impact this entire ARG ever had. One of these in-between frames was later screenshotted by me, deep fried by an ex-friend, and given the caption, "Win Voobers," which then spun off into its own character. Yes, this video created an unfunny meme, which then became a stupid inside joke to the point we hid Win Voobers into everything we did, and he was the equivalent of the mascot of my old friend group. He still survives to this day, mind you, with an entire old FNAF fan game from 2022. So yeah, Win Voobers is like the biggest thing to ever spawn from this ARG, and it was basically just a joke mascot for my friend group. After Win Voobers gets created, my power goes out and you get about a minute of me walking around my room like an idiot, where you get a lot of close-ups of my 15-year-old face and my ugly ass haircut. During this blackout section, you hear stock floor creaking sound effects and Freddy's laugh from FNAF 1. I end up finding a notebook in my room that just has "Help me" and "He lies" scribbled on it over and over before I am attacked by something off camera and the footage fades to black. Also, I love that you can tell during my right before death rant about the notebook, I cut out a part where I said, I don't know how the fuck that got there.
That came from, I have no...
Anyways, the screen fades back in to show me trapped in a video file wearing different clothes and very obviously green screened in. An off-screen force that not only holds the camera but controls the computer mouse closes the video tab, drags the video file to the trash, opens up my channel, goes to the upload tab and uploads a new video file. The outro screen is 20 seconds of dead silence as it links back to a new video on Redacted Name's channel, the final Gone video named Unity. A video uploaded on my channel that we just saw get uploaded in the video named Guys I'm Not Dead I Promised.mp4, which is the penultimate file extension video, and then finally a link back to Redacted Name's channel itself with the description on it reading, "We have won." So that was my favorite video in the ARG. It is really funny bad because of my acting, voice cracks, and stupid faces. And also the fact I tear down my own ARG in a video trying to get people to become invested in it. Also, it is the video where the biggest event has happened so far. This isn't killing off plush toys in a skit video anymore. This is in-universe, an attack on a child and crushing him into his computer just to exert your control. This is the part where the villain wins, for now. Now, we're going to go through Unity and Guys I'm Not Dead I Promised.mp4 before we get to the original finale for the ARG and the end of part 1 and the original intended storyline. So let's try to knock these out of the park. Unity doesn't really have much to say during it. Uploaded a day before on June 16th, 2021, it is 34 seconds of Redacted Name laughing. He added himself to the image of all the plushies right in the middle, and he isn't distorted at all, being the only one to show any color other than red. This video doesn't have a hashtag, and instead just has "We won" and "Together at last" copy and pasted as one word throughout the entire description. Nothing else to say, but hearing the reversed laughing from someone who just attacked a child is a bit haunting, especially because the title is just Unity. It makes it feel less like an attack and more like assimilation. I can't believe it took this long, but I think that this is the part where, granted the whole ARG is still awful, but it begins to actually find its footing again. And I think that this video is a step in the right direction. Oh god. So, Guys I'm Not Dead I Promised.mp4. This video is bad. Uploaded on my channel on June 16th, 2021. Not unlisted, but actually fully public. This video is awful. It is 19 seconds of Redacted Name laughing. The description just has "I'm not dead" as one word copy and pasted over and over again. And the video is a two-toned, purple-tinted video of me standing around my room in various badass and intimidating poses and glitching out over and over and over, and it's really funny. Like, it's just me tweaking out thinking that I'm looking cool and evil, but I just look like one of those Sigma Alpha male manipulator assholes, and it's just really funny. Like, put Animals by Maroon 5 over this and you see what I'm talking about. Fun fact about this video, when this video got uploaded a day before the Who's Redacted Name video, I ended up blacking out my profile everywhere, including on Discord Discord. Now, I never told my friends about the ARG, so the fact that this came out of nowhere made my friends think that, well, I was gonna myself. Thankfully, I explained to them what happened and at least reset my profile on Discord back to normal, but that's like the only important thing I remember about this video. Thankfully, we're almost done as we have the original finale of the entire ARG in my 6-year anniversary special, Bowser Jr.'s Epic Prank. Released on July 28th, 2021, Bowser Jr.'s Epic Prank was my 6-year anniversary special and the original finale. Set as a premiere, this is a 37-minute special which was intended to wrap everything up, but I just feel like didn't do that. Like, it wraps up the plush skit plotline, but it doesn't resolve any other plot lines, which, like, is kind of an issue when all of the ARG's momentum was going towards the non-plush storyline. But as for the finale for this storyline, let's see how it goes. The plot is as follows. Bowser Jr. is bored one day and decides to entertain his friends by firing the leftover 4th of July fireworks out of Sonic's car while his friends drive it. You know, as you do. Sonic rightfully tells him no because it's dangerous and he needs his car for the next Sega racing game. Jr. gets upset, and when Yoshi and Inkling Boy threaten to go home, Jr. decides to do it anyways. This leads to Sonic's car exploding off screen. Sonic berates Jr. viciously, mentioning how Bowser Jr. was meant to be put down, but Sonic adopted him and how he regrets that decision. While a valid crash out, I really think that this was way out of character even for Sonic, and also creates a big plot hole, because in the original Bowser Jr. Gets Adopted video from all the way back in 2015, Jr. was just put up for adoption and nothing more. This reads as more of just an edgy rewrite for the sake of it, but it kind of fits given Redacted Name's corruption of not only all the plush characters but the channel as a whole. Jr. decides to get revenge on the entire family, which results in murder. Chef Kirby gets trapped inside of the oven with it turned on, Sonic gets beaten to death with his TV remote, and Funtime Foxy is knocked out with their head in between the cabinet doors. Jr. wakes up the next day and realizes the major mistake he made and calls for over Yoshi and Inkling Boy for help and company. When suddenly, Airmail Koopa shows up. Airmail Koopa shows up as a CPS agent and tells Jr. that he is now an orphan and will be put up for adoption. But thankfully, he has a new family already looking to adopt him. That family shows up, and it's Chef Kirby and Sonic, who have no memory of ever meeting Jr. Funtime Foxy reveals that they never died in the cabinet and explains that they aren't the real Sonic or Chef Kirby. After Jr. mentions killing Chef Kirby and Foxy mentions their gender to Sonic, they get their memories back. As soon as Airmail Koopa questions what the hell is going on, static fills the screen and Airmail Koopa is removed from the video. Upon trying to regroup in the living room, they find Inkling Boy, who suffered the same treatment off camera as Airmail Koopa and is stuck frozen in the same position he was in at the start of the video. Yoshi goes to check on him and Yoshi too gets stuck, and eventually Bowser Jr. gets stuck as well. Frozen in the fabric of time, stuck to repeat the events of the video forever. Only Kirby, Foxy, and Sonic are left. Lefty shows up and points them to the fireplace. Upon entering, they get transported to a space-like universe. Bad green screen effects and all. In fact, I hope you love awful green screening, because that's what the remaining 13 minutes of this video are. This is the video where, in Shadow Frey's monologue here, it is revealed he created Funtime Foxy as a puppet. Sonic, not asking why Funtime Foxy has ties to this mysterious villain behind all this, instead asks for a really cool and long and mysterious backstory, which Shadow Freddy happily indulges in. Shadow Freddy then says, "Okay, fine. I guess for you, you mere mortal scum, a long time ago you were, and you still are, controlled by a man named Herobine Mobs. This fool created you from the figment of his imagination. I am the dark side of his mind. I am his dark thoughts, his depression, his anger, his oppression. I am everything that he believes he is not, and he materialized me with the Shadow Freddy character, and that's why I am how I am now. I am no longer Shadow Freddy, but I am Redacted Name. I am the redacted haters, the people who never believed in him, everyone who never believed in me, even his own self-doubt. That's what I am. I can never go away, and he materialized me, and I started hiding in every single one of his videos until he forgot about me. He forgot about me, and he wants to claim that he didn't even know I existed, and he doesn't know who I am. But that's all lies. He lies, and he watched. He found out the hard truth, and when he did, I just did what he did to me. I redacted him. I erased him from this earth. And you, Funtime Foxy, you were originally created by me to take care of the plushie so I could become the puppet master. Take his ability and spread total domination across the earth. But you didn't do what I said. You betrayed me. You betrayed me and became friends. But it's fine. I created Lefty. And Lefty took him out for me, and now I will take out you, as I already had taken out Amy, Junior, Yoshi, everyone. I've taken them all out already. Now it's just down to you. You are what stands in my way, and I will redact you. So before we move on, a lot to unpack there. First of all, if it isn't obvious already, this monologue and the one from Gone Funtime Foxy are completely improvised off the cuff. There was no scripting, no planning, no nothing. It was just me rambling on and on, making up the points as I went. Second of all, okay, him being the manifestation of my depression that took control of a plushie and now wants to control me, honestly a really lame motive, because I know depression is a serious topic and talking about it is important, and there really could be a discussion about depression affecting and tainting art that someone creates, but this isn't hinted at anywhere else in the ARG. All that we knew until now, the big finale, was that Shadow Freddy, or someone using him as a symbol, was trying to cause harm to me, but now apparently by proxy of him being my depression, he was me all along? This pokes so many plot holes into the entire ARG that I'm not even gonna bother mentioning them all, because I think that would be probably a 5-minute rant on its own right. And thirdly, spread total domination across the earth. I'm sorry, fucking what? Is this a story about a hacker, a stuffed toy trying to get revenge on me, depression, or a fucking Marvel supervillain? What is his fucking goal? To make everyone in the world depressed? Because, buddy, the only thing that's depressing is your attempt to be edgy and emotional. This whole fucking depression reveal and world domination line feels so fucking stupid and bullshitty. It sounds like some shit that people who unironically post about men's mental health instead of Pride Month would look like. This has the same emotional complexity to it as a Dax or NF song about men's struggles. This is so fucking corny and Reddit and just bad. I shouldn't be getting this worked up over it, I know, but like, it really just shows how little of care I gave this ARG, when my best work is improv that completely sinks every last part of the entire ARG and capsizes any and all momentum, past or present, I now have, because all of the horror is undercut by the most generic, unseasoned, uninteresting portrayal of depression bad that has ever been told. And we still have 10 minutes to get through! Yes, that monologue took up 3 minutes of screen time. Great job, Herobine mobs. So essentially the plushies are like, no, we want to get home and save our friends. So Funtime Foxy solos redacted name. They jump through the portal just for it to be a fake out. Redacted name summons a purple version of me from the Guys I'm Not Dead video. I solo all the plushies. They do a magic of friendship bit. They remove the glove from my hand. I fade away. And then Funtime Foxy sacrifices themselves to keep redacted name dead for good. Chef Kirby gives a final thank you as he admits that Funtime Foxy is his only true friend. Then the screen fades to white as redacted name and Funtime Foxy are killed off. It goes through a montage of my videos from 2015 until 2021 and ends with a callback to Chef Kirby's assistant. Except this time, Funtime Foxy doesn't show up and the video ends with a credits roll as Sonic tells Chef Kirby that maybe one day he could own the house. All of this is undercut by the fact that Funtime Foxy returned in the next plush skits. And I wasn't happy with this ending, so redacted name survived and the ARG continued on. So, what do I think of Bowser Jr.'s epic prank in retrospect? Simple. It is without a doubt the worst anniversary special I have ever produced. As a plush skit by itself, it's overly long, boring, cruel, out of character, has terrible editing and pacing, some dude just shows up and gets bodied and we're expected to care. As a part of the ARG, it's overly long, boring, adds a backstory and motive to the main villain that just ends up disappointing, letting down, sinking momentum, and putting so many plot holes into the ARG that it becomes easier to track what isn't a plot hole compared to what is. The dialogue really just fucked everything over here because I realized as I made this and got to this point, oh shit, Redacted Name doesn't have a motive for why he's fucking with the Plush universe. He's just doing that because. So I then had to make up a reason that would make sense. Depression worsening, which then makes the art darker and less silly and whimsical. But that ends up putting more damage to the rest of the non-Plush related parts of the ARG. The issue isn't the ambition or the ideas or the energy. By the time that July had hit and I made this finale, I was very invested into this ARG and was putting my all into this. But by that time also, I had to connect the threads that I left behind from the months where I sat around and waited and did nothing but leave repetitive breadcrumbs. So I ended up making a blanket explanation that solved the main thread connecting the Plush videos back to the ARG, but in doing so, it was a wet blanket that softened and ruined every single hit before and after with the rest of the ARG. That's why less than a month later, I already regretted how I ended the ARG and I decided to retroactively decide to start it back up and end it properly this time. At the very least, to give the Herobine mobs part a proper finale. Because if this video remained the solid endpoint here, what happens to me? I was still uploading videos before and after this finale where I seemed just fine. Does it really end with me just being erased and fully controlled by my depression? Or did I literally get crammed into a video file onto a computer and erased? We don't know because that isn't ever brought up or made clear anywhere. That thread, which is the main one of the ARG, is left dangling with no climax of its own. And as such, all of these blows combine to make probably the exact moment where the ARG properly dies. At the very least, we can sit here and laugh at my bad acting or effects or lack of writing for these. But in that time of making these videos, it was very frustrating. I wanted to tell a story, but by the time I had gotten all the motivation and ideas and energy to do so, I had to connect the dots and I made a bad creative decision on impulse that ruined everything else. But we have 7 videos left. Let's just breeze through these because, truthfully, we don't have anything crazy big to talk about. This is where I decided to revive the Redacted Name ARG with a video fittingly called A Continuation. Released on November 7th, 2021 on Redacted Name's channel, A Continuation was my sign that, hey, this ended badly and I wanted a second shot with at the very least ending it correctly. This video is thankfully a short little breather. It's only 30 seconds and is actually completely silent. The video starts with a clip of Redacted Name being killed by Funtime Foxy and text pops up that says, "Not again," and why did I let this happen? It then shows a series of text on screen saying, "It's his fault. Why does he hide behind these facades? I'm just trying to help him be him," before the screen fades out to static and the video ends. What makes this really hard to take seriously, though, is that during the "why does he hide behind these facades" part, it begins to show a montage of all of my profile pictures I have used on Discord up to that time. So we got the real Herobine profile picture, we got really unfunny deep-fried Astolfo image, Win Voobers, a guy in a really bad Toad costume, Infinite Voobers, an image of Sad Birdly, an image of Birdly as a rubber ducky, and then finally Chris Dreamer laying in bed. It's really hard to focus on the lore there, buddy, no offense. I think by the time November rolled around and I started making these videos, I kind of realized that there was just no way for me to make it scary, let alone anywhere near horror anymore. So I think I really just stopped trying. I was focusing more on actual storytelling rather than being cryptic or scary during the second part, which has its own pitfalls, as you can imagine. It's just crazy to think that the closest thing we got to a combination of both storytelling and cryptic horror was the ending bit of Lost Episode. Overall, A Continuation serves its purpose. It's just a filler video to let people know that the ARG was coming back for a proper finish. Now, I'm gonna skim through this next video because this just has nothing to do with the ARG. This is the video Terraria SMP Episode 2, uploaded on my friend Baron Von Snake's channel. I edited these live streams for him to upload, and when I was editing the second stream, it was around the same time that I started up the ARG again. In fact, this video came out on the same day as A Continuation, November 17th. So, I asked permission if I could sneak an Easter egg referencing the ARG into this video. He was perfectly chill with that, so 5 minutes minutes and 59 seconds in the video, text saying, "The timeline is now complete. Toad in real life at 3 a.m. has been created." In the middle of this, for 3 frames, during the 6-minute mark, a YouTube link flashes on screen. The whole thing with the timeline bit here is just that this is a live stream that was made during June, and it took me until November to get around to editing it. So with the guy in a bad Toad costume PFP coming from the joke of me being Toad in this video, that now has context as to why it showed up in a continuation. Again, none of this is supposed to mean anything at the end of the day. This is just a 3-second Easter egg in a friend's video. But what does the link take you to? A cryptic congratulations are in order for you is an unlisted video on Redacted Names channel. It is 55 seconds of me editing the Terraria SMP stream. I get up and check out my window before sitting back down and saying, "I feel like someone is watching me." That's it. It's just an Easter egg, although it does imply that I am being stalked. It's hard to take that seriously anymore when we know that in some way Redacted Name and I are the same person, but regardless, it's literally just an Easter egg that might as well be non-canon to the ARG, but I figured it was interesting to mention regardless. The only thing we really get from this video anyways that even ties to the ARG is the message in the description, which is just December 18th, 2:15 p.m. repeated over and over and over again. So let's jump ahead to that date in time to the final public video ever posted onto Redacted Names channel and the last clues we will ever get from the ARG. Uploaded on December 18th, 2021 at 2:15 p.m., Save Him From Himself Before It's Too Late was uploaded. Yes, the title is supposed to have a space in between every letter. It is a 9-second video of pure static. That is all it is. No audio, no other visual, except at the beginning of the video, for one single frame, there is a new YouTube video link. And at the ending frame of the video, there is another YouTube video link, but that link is broken and doesn't work. There's nothing left I can say about this video. I mean, we saw all its content to discuss. It is 9 seconds of static with 2 links, one of which being broken. So, like, might as well journey into this next video then. Uploaded back on November 7th, but inaccessible until the last video, image_E3058 in brackets 1.mov is the last video in this ARG to be uploaded on the Redacted Name channel, meaning the last 2 videos are going to be our final stretch. But what does this video contain? Well, the file name is from a recording done straight off of an iPhone, meaning that this same person who stalked me and recorded a cryptic congratulations are in order for you also recorded this video, but decided to not title it. This video is 17 seconds and has the camera facing down towards my bed in an unmoving shot. You hear me groan and put my head into a pillow on the bed as I mutter the words, "Where did I go wrong?" and then, "What did I do wrong?" before the video ends. So whatever is recording these videos is uploading them without permission. And before you ask, yes, the second link that is broken in Save Him From Himself was supposed to be a part of the ARG as well, but the video actually never published to YouTube, and I never noticed until the actual finale of everything, so like, I just kind of had to roll with it. I ended up watching it, and I'll mention it here, but just know that this has been retroactively cut from the ARG because it was never uploaded. It's called image_E3059 in brackets 1.mov, and is essentially more of the same thing, just this time the camera is pointing up towards my roof. The video is 50-ish seconds long, and I talk about having to scrap a video due to lack of improvement in motivation. So while I'm sad the more interesting video ended up having to get cut from the ARG, both of these videos just don't add anything at all to the table besides the depression angle, which, as you can tell, I am really now trying to hammer that thread in since I babbled about it like a dumb idiot baby I was when I was making Bowser Jr.'s epic prank. And now that we are officially done with the Redacted Name channel as a whole, no more uploads are on this channel, I just want to say, what a fucking nothing burger of a channel upload history. All of the content on his channel was nothing but filler content uploaded to pad out the ARG's length and make it look more in depth than it was. And when there was an actual mystery with the YouTube links, it was too little too late, and I somehow messed that up as well. Literally not a single video here, besides maybe Gone Funtime Foxy, has any importance to the ARG. You could skip this entire channel and and probably have a better experience watching this ARG because all of the filler gets cut out. Also, it is now important to bring up something that will become very, very integral soon. See, there's this thing in the world called irony. So what the irony here is that these videos, for the most part, were all uploaded on November 7th, 2021. They all feature themes of saving my true self and hiding behind facades, trying to free my true self and everything. On November 11th, 2021, I came out in private to my then friend group as a transgender woman and began going by the name Chris. So, reality really imitates fiction once again, huh? I mean, I think we can all guess what the entire plotline is going to turn into, but like, it was never intended. Like, I'll tell you right now, any and all transgender themes, subtle or not, you may have picked up by this point, were fully unintended. Like, I deadass remember first coming out to my ex-partner and I didn't even know what being trans was. So when she explained it to me because she was trans, I was like, oh, that's what that's called? Oh, that's how I feel. I'm that then. Yeah, that checks out. And boom, that's how I figured out I was trans. So, all that to say, all former themes in that style were fully unintended. But with these last two videos, we get a bit wacky, and let's just say we thoroughly lose the plot. This is the actual end to the ARG. Interrupted Intermission is the penultimate video in the ARG. Uploaded on July 9th, 2022, this serves as the teaser for the actual finale. The video starts with a very slowed down and pitched down piano as the background music, as a raspy, whispering voice says, "Why do you hide?" Text appears on screen to accompany these voice lines. The voice has a quieter, reversed line speaking the same line at the same time. Eventually, the message becomes, "Do you hide?" before the music ends and all you hear is the word hide. After a second of silence, it cuts to the text July 28th, 2022 at 4 p.m. In the background, a render of Shadow Freddy can very faintly be seen as a chorus of voices talk over each other. Everything will be over soon. The finale is here. And the audio that is directed to the right is like very hard to make out. Eventually, all these voices get drowned out with revoiced voice lines, and the video ends with an end card linking back to a continuation and Save Him From Himself, alongside linking back to Redacted Names channel. While this is nothing more than a teaser trailer, I actually really appreciate the attempt at horror here. Even if the ARG has lost all ability to be scary anymore, I at least appreciate the try to do so. The constant whispering could be unnerving. The reversed whispering on top of it makes it all feel like a forbidden chant or something. For the ARG, I think this actually beats Lost Episode in terms of horror and storytelling in one. While it's still not scary and rather corny, this is without a doubt the best video so far in the ARG. And it's a 30-second trailer, not even a big attempt to do anything. It doesn't add anything to the puzzle, it doesn't solve any puzzle. All that remains as is, simply put, a horror trailer for a horror ARG finale, and it succeeds. This is a bad horror ARG. Hell, could it even qualify as that? So by this being a bad attempt at horror, it actually then ends up succeeding. It finds its footing by being awful because the entire storyline around it and all I had spent working on for the past 2 years was nothing but a bunch of loose cryptic threads that were tied together in a horrible bow and then tried being slightly unraveled to see if we could get a better result this time. And it's time to finally end all of this. The finale is here, as Shadow Freddy said. It's time to examine the messy end to a messy, fucked up project. July 28th, 2022. The Redacted Name ARG finale premiered on my channel and was the de facto end to this entire mess I made. So how did I wrap it up? Simple. It's 30 minutes of the worst, insane acting that you will ever see. I have seen 10-year-olds in community theater with better acting than I was putting out in this video. Structurally, it is the same structure as Who Is Redacted Name, but that video was only 19-ish minutes. This is almost exactly 40 minutes long, and it is the most long, dragged out, and embarrassing 40 minutes of my life to revisit. Now, when rewatching this ARG in its entirety, I did it all solo. However, for this last video, I actually screen shared it in a call with my friend HeyyItsJamie and their friend group, and while I didn't record it, they had a much better experience than I did. They laughed at it and thought it was just really, really funny bad. Meanwhile, I was looking like a strawberry that got sunburned because I was so utterly embarrassed by what I created. But alas, we must now discuss the events of this video. So here we begin. The video starts with a 1 minute and 20-second long intro. It starts out with Don't Forget Me.mp4 playing on screen before panning out to the spherical view of a bunch of videos from the ARG, all playing at once while the big title card of the redacted name ARG finale comes into view. The audio is the track Save Point from the Super Smash Bros. Brawl Subspace Emissary mode. I really like Smash Bros. OSTs, so yeah. Regardless, after the first minute being the most boring title card of all time, it cuts back to a new update video that I'm recording. As I begin talking, I take a pause as I try to mention the first thing I want to talk about, where it reveals a notepad document open on my computer, just reading "Come Out Already, Bozo." There's also an Easter egg referencing this old Sonic.exe FNF D-side song, which just shows you how dated this video is. I already made a DaBaby car reference in Who Is Redacted Name, Why Stop Here? I pivot, however, and just mention that more videos are on the way, and as I wrap up the video, I get a Discord notification from, and that's one of my ex-friends. It only took 2.5 minutes for this video to hurt me in any possible way. Regardless, she messages me and tells me that my channel was hijacked, as a totally normal person would logically do, and then jumps to later that night where I reveal that I went to eat dinner and hung out on call with said friends while not investigating my channel at all because I wanted to make content out of it. Influencer brain really comes naturally to me. I then go through the new videos in the ARG, I repeat what the video says over and over and don't really add anything besides, guys, I think he's stalking me, this is crazy, and I just repeat everything in the same boring loop over and over. Only funny thing from this part is that this is where I found out that image_E3059 in brackets 1.mov wasn't uploaded to YouTube, so my live reaction was literally just great! The only real important thing to come from this section is that I reveal I have plot-convenient amnesia! What does that mean? Well, I call it in the video a fragmented memory, or memory fragments, and it basically just says, I do not remember anything redacted name related, but I do remember everything not redacted name related. Ah, what a convenient plot device. Is this amnesia-like state really ever mentioned again or hinted at anywhere before? No, not really, unless you count all the hacker plotline threads as that being me doing it. Honestly, the more I talk about it, this sounds more like an allegory for dissociative identity disorder than it does depression. I wrap up this section of the video by talking to Redacted Name directly. I say that I want to talk to him to ask him what he wants and what it will take for all of this to end. I then go ahead and do my outro for the video, but as I go to stop the recording, it doesn't work. I act very distressed and confused about this. Can't stop my recording. I can't stop my recording. That is not normal. That I cannot stop my recording. You know what? I'll just let this recording run. However, while you may think that old Herobine was stupid for not reporting this very obviously built up as a stalking case to the authorities, this is where I do the old switcheroo on you. See, I called 911. By inputting a 4-digit number code into the phone. I have no words. This is where I begin to go cuckoo and where the video truly loses all sense of cohesion and drags on and on and on and on. Take note of the fact that we are 19 minutes into a 39, almost 40-minute long video. The 911 call dies and all cell reception is cut, just like how I mentioned previously that every time I tried removing redacted name, something would coincidentally prevent me from stopping him. I get up to look out the window on my door, which is literally less than a foot away from where my phone and tripod were located, but when I turn around, my tripod magically moved to a different spot without me noticing. moving. I turn around and act scared by it, and immediately began the greatest trend of this video. I point, scream, and get my face uncomfortably close up to the camera. If you ever wish to see really close to my face before, then this video is your best bet. I grab the tripod and put it back in its spot, as I continue ranting on about literally the same shit over and over and over, just repeating that I'm not crazy and that I want to talk to redacted name over and over again. I get up, walk over to my video game shelf, and just start fucking talking to the shelf as if it's a person. Like, I know I'm talking to myself and reassuring myself, but it really looks like I'm just looking at my PS2 section and I'm just chatting it the fuck up. The tripod teleports to the other side of the room, so to prevent it from moving, I move my phone off the tripod and onto my ring light tripod, which has a broken leg and is a lot heavier. So now you're going to be a lot harder to wander around. Okay. Dear God, I want a restraining order against my past self. I am so uncomfortable right now. As I go back to sit down in my chair, I look up and notice that my phone fucking teleported back into the tripod, back at my computer setup. And don't worry, if you didn't realize that just happened, I get my mouth really close into both my microphone and the camera so you can hear me get really loud.
Phones do not teleport.
I begin to quote-unquote lose it by breathing very fake heavily into my hands, looking around and raising my voice pitch up and down as I quickly try to play pirated Wii games to distract myself. But I immediately quit that just because I realize in my head as I'm filming this, holy shit, this is so much filler. I decide to start threatening to fight redacted name now.
Redacted name, if you're out there, just stop being a pussy and show your ass already.
Top 5 Sigma male quotes to make you the lowliest male in the wolf pack. I really thought that swearing was tough as shit back then, bro, because, like, I didn't stand up with a gigantic trans pride flag I still had hanging on my wall in the shot. I begin to keep calling him a bitch and mention being ready to fight. Like, come on, man. The big reveal is revealed through me being too lazy to undo some fucking thumbtacks for a single shot. I literally tried avoiding filming it on purpose, and then I just did this whole big wide shot with it as the main background detail. I am an incredible filmmaker, genuinely the next Steven Spielberg if this keeps up. And the fact that I'm wearing a Hamilton t-shirt throughout all of this too, dude, 2022 was the worst year of my fucking life, man. Like, I was tweaking the fuck out and putting everything I could into my personal art. The energy is so off. It's so obviously just phoned in and done and ready to be finished. It's this tired apathy of everything regarding this ARG and story, and honestly, by that point in my life, I just wanted to finish the story because this dark, brooding story about depression wasn't something I wanted to work on when my entire rest of my life was filled with nothing but negativity and genuinely awful feelings. It's why 2022 is the year I made both the least amount of content and grew the least as a creator. I didn't innovate. I didn't get a big video hit. I just stagnated throughout the entire year, and the only good things to come from this year only got popular in subsequent years. Anyways, sorry for the tangent. Back to the video. The power goes out and I ramble again and again about everything. Then, while I'm shit talking, redacted name turns off my phone flashlight, which, like, okay, that's kind of a funny, petty move, I can't lie. I then say I'm gonna sit down on my bed until he shows up, only for the power to turn back on and I'm sitting in my chair. I am both extremely done with the ARG in this video and extremely done with this ARG right now. I can't even be upset anymore. I'm just calling shit as I see it and moving on because I genuinely do not have the energy or anything new to say about how genuinely awful this shit is looking back on it. I'm realizing why I very much never watched this video again after I uploaded it. This is awful, but at the very least, in an entertaining way. The power comes back on, and then the camera gets really close to my face as I begin to be like, oh my god, he's here, and blah blah blah. Then, the funniest shot in the entire series, nay, on my entire channel, happens. It hard cuts over to a floating Shadow Freddy PNG in my room, and the first words out of his mouth are, and I quote, "So, I heard a bitch-ass motherfucker wanted to talk to me." This line, still to this day, makes me burst out laughing so badly. Genuinely top 5 fastest aura deaths of all time. Even if he never had aura to begin with, it was nil the nanosecond he opened his mouth. There's then this really funny shot of the Shadow Freddy PNG sliding right into the camera, and I jump backwards in fear, and then it hard cuts to me falling onto the ground. I don't know, I think it's really funny. Redacted name begins to choke me out with the force, and you see me drop to the floor as I beg for mercy. My vision going blurry as a still Shadow Freddy PNG is all I see. The screen fades to black as me and Redacted name are now in my mind! Regardless, we have a conversation which thankfully is accompanied by text on screen as the only visuals. Where am I? Says me. It's quite simple, really. We have entered your mind, replies back Redacted name. Please, just, what do you want from me? Just tell me, please, is what I say back, and we get a monologue from Redacted name in response. I'm afraid it's not the most simple thing in the world. I want you to be honest with yourself. I want you to tell yourself that you are who you want to be. Herobine, I know that this is challenging for you. I saw especially what you were planning to do soon and how you put that off in the update video really irked me. I know I'm always seen as morally gray, sometimes downright evil, but I will say this. I am not a bad guy. Never was. Herobine, I am the literal incarnation of your depression. I did what I did, not as a way to hurt you, but as a way to show you that what you were doing was self-destructive. It's not depression that is necessarily bad, it is just the things that make it so. You can never fully get rid of depression. Everyone has it. It just depends on what triggers it and what makes them have it. That's what we need to cure. Herobine, be honest with yourself. Tell the world how you feel. Tell me. I promise you, I'm accepting. Let's just get this over with. I wake up on the floor, I sit up, call out my cat for not doing anything, call her a bitch, and then get back in my chair. The last remaining 7 minutes are me coming out as non-binary. Yeah, so I came out as a trans woman and used she, her in November, but by May, if I remember correctly, I decided to go with just being non-binary and used they, them. So this video being filmed in July makes me non-binary during it. However, afterwards, a few months later, I would start using she, they, and then I went and used that for a long while and called myself a non-binary trans femme. But recently, I just went back solidly to she, her, and only identify as a trans woman, so yeah. Regardless, this was my coming out video, meaning that the first 30 minutes of this video was the last time I was ever cisgender and / or Herobine mobs. They both died in the same video, and man, I can't really say I'm mourning. The last 7 minutes, while also me coming out as NB at the time, was me talking about the whole depression spiel thing because I need to tie that into everything, and yeah, although I do think this ending bit of the video is kind of funny, I end up saying this is my coming out video. It was a very convoluted way of saying it. It was a very convoluted way of killing off the Herobine Mobs character, but it's the story that I wanted to tell. Bitch, no the fuck it wasn't. I also say, quite humorously, I probably am gonna come out with an entire analysis of the series in like a few days after this uploads. That was 4 years ago! Hey, it's Chris, world's greatest procrastinator. The very last words ever spoken in the entire ARG is me rambling for 10 seconds at the end of the video about how the pirated games were legally dumped, and the ARG ends with the quote, "Nintendo, please don't come eat my kneecaps." And that was the dumpster fire of a finale to cap off this dumpster fire of a horror ARG. So, how do I wrap up a retrospective analysis of this? Where do I even begin? The Redacted name ARG is the absolute worst horror ARG I've ever seen on YouTube, and I genuinely believe that. Not just because it's my own series, or because of the embarrassment or cringe because of that, but because it genuinely just does nothing. It just goes on and on and on about the same points, video after video, and when we do finally get clues or answers, they are often the least logical, insane, and most jumping the shark answers you could possibly ever see. Nothing makes sense in this ARG, and you want to know why? Because every last single part of it was all improv. When I uploaded the videos, when I came up with the clues, when we got monologues and actual progression in the story, all of it was made up on the fly with no foreshadowing or foresight. The reason why all of these videos feel like threads that don't connect together is because they are. Every time I made a video, I was thinking about what the payoff would be and was planning for that. But the issue was I changed the payoff every single time I made a video, so it just kept changing. Not to mention, it shouldn't even count as horror or an ARG. It doesn't try to be scary, and when it does, it tried too hard, or it is overly edgy, or is utterly cringeworthy. It doesn't try to be an actual puzzle to solve or get the viewers involved, because it believes the puzzle is the story, and the only way to make it a puzzle is to be so overly cryptic that none of the pieces actually fit together, because either they're duplicates or they go to the wrong puzzle. There were videos within this ARG where you could absolutely separate it from the rest of the storyline and it could possibly work as horror or it could tell its own story. HEWILLWATCH.WEBM, Unity, Interrupted Intermission, all of these, even if they're bad horror, work on some level as horror and at least attempt something. But the story is the biggest flaw in this entire ARG. It starts as a plush video exclusive plotline where Shadow Freddy wants revenge for being forgotten about, but then it turns into him being a hacker trying to accuse me of being a liar. Then it turns into he's the incarnation of my depression manifest and he wants to control me, before then going into and ending on he's my depression and dark thoughts, but he accepts me and loves me and just wants me to come out as trans, which none of that works in a sequence. And the big depression reveal at the end pisses me the fuck off. If Shadow Freddy is my dark thoughts and depression manifest, why is he accepting of me? Why did he still attack me and stalk me? Why did he originally want to take over the earth? If he really was my dark thoughts, shouldn't he be unaccepting of my identity? Shouldn't he be the one making me scared of facing my truth, not helping me realize it? He shouldn't be like, oh yeah, I support you, girly pop. He should be the devil on my shoulder calling me awful things like a 4chan trans woman. And then the big fucking spiel I go on at the end of the finale about how we all have depression and we need to fix what causes it, not depression itself. Motherfucker, that's called curing depression! I don't even believe this take! I just said some shit because I thought I never heard anyone say it before and I wanted to seem like I had a really cool moral to tell. No! Because my moral about stopping the things that cause depression is called curing depression! That's how it works! You know, I originally called this ARG the worst just because it was cringy and dumb and I made it, I'll admit it. Then going through it, I reached the beginning slog and was like, yeah, this sucks. Then I reached the high point right before Bowser Jr.'s epic prank and thought, wow, this is still bad, but maybe it could be salvaged from being the absolute worst. But then the whole monologue in both finales happened, and it just guaranteed to me that there was no saving this ARG. Do I think the concept of redacted name is unfixable? No, actually, I don't. If someone out there wants to make a serious horror take on redacted name about the horrors of being an unsupervised minor online, or how self-loathing consumes you, or how depression could affect and manifest in our art, then go ahead. I just don't think the storyline, as I told it, could at all be fixed. Even if I were to revive it today for a part 3, it still wouldn't be salvageable. I honestly should have let this story die in Bowser Jr.'s epic prank, because then, at the very least, the conversation could be, it was a slog, but it found its footing and then tumbled off the edge. But as it stands right now, this is an ARG that was a slog of random unassorted ideas, began to find its footing and picked up steam, tumbled off an edge, slowly climbed its way halfway up the cliff only to jump off again, hitting the ground, and then have a pack of coyotes brutally disembody it. This was an ARG with no planning, no storyline, and misunderstood everything that made ARGs and horror as a genre good. And at the end, I revived it just so I could give a stupid message and come out as trans in something that could have been summarized in a simple update video, like what the finale started as. I spent 4 years avoiding revisiting this ARG out of shame. I thought it was a well done and perfect little thing I did, but quickly soon after, I really just wanted to move past it and move on. But looking back at it now, it's just something I can point and laugh at, and I'm glad I got to do it with all of you guys. Well, all I can say now is that thank you all so much for watching, not only just this video, but all of my videos for the past 11 years. It means a lot to me, and I'm glad I have reached this point. I still love making content for you all, and I have no plans of stopping anytime soon. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, donate to me on Ko-Fi, and even share the video if you liked it that much. As always, I'll see you all in the next video.